So how are those New Year's resolutions going? I'll wait. Interesting. Just a quick little data point for those of you watching and listening, wherever you are watching and listening. We got some people in the lobby watching the show. Thank you all for being here today. And then the team in the control room, everybody had the same reaction after that pause. It was a knowing smile of, I'm not doing so good. All right, let me tell you why I asked the question. It was not to make you feel guilty. In fact, I could give two craps about the fact that you're not doing so hot on your resolutions. In fact, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Because New Year's resolutions come from a good place, but it's faulty thinking. It's faulty thinking. And by the way, if you're going, well, gee whiz, Ken, it's a little early in the year to be poo-pooing on my resolutions. No, it's not. I'm just simply saying the data. It's not my opinion. I mean, I'll let you know when it's my opinion. But the science backs this up. Just go look it up. Get on the Google, as I like to tell my teenagers, and just look at how many people fall off of their resolutions, what the percentage is, and how quickly. It's rather stark. That's why people say, hey, if your gym's crowded in January, just relax. By mid-February, you'll have all the room in the world. Now, why am I bringing this up? Let's talk about this year. Let's talk about 2023. Let's talk about what's underneath the resolutions. Let's talk about what's swirling around in your head and your heart today, but through this context. And if you're a person that takes notes or you're listening to the podcast, this is one of those moments where I'm going to tell you, press pause. Write this down. Type it in your phone. Do an audio note. This is what I want you to hear. The year you want is built on what you do each day. Daily actions determine our direction. So what's the bumper sticker? Today matters. Today. Stop worrying about tomorrow. Stop freaking out about next month. Win today. Now let me go back and say that again. The year you want is built on what you do each day. How about this? The life you want. Let's just get bigger than 2023. Let me be really honest with you, a little transparent. I take time off at the end of every year, and it's a very reflective, very strategic time for me. It's a time of rest and a time of reflection. I rest my brain, and I do a lot of reflection. I did not write down one major goal for 2023. What? What's wrong with you, Ken? Aren't you like, how can you say you're coaching me to live the life that I was born to live? And you didn't write down major goals for 2023? No. But I wrote down a lot of goals for the next 15, 20 years. See, what I am pursuing, the destination I want to get to over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. I'm still a young man. Thank you very much. I'm 48. I'm dreaming about 10 years from now, 15 years from now. Why? Much bigger returns. Now, I'm not trying to play games with you. I'm trying to change your perspective. Change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. Everybody say it together with me. You guys don't have to behind the glass. Change the way you think, change the way you act. Change the way you feel, change the way you act. Got to say it again right. Change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. Change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you feel. Change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. I keep saying it wrong. I'm so excited. When I change my perspective, the way I see the world, it gives me new emotions. That's the change the way you feel. And then when I have the right emotions, I am now in a position where I am willing to actually change the way I act. Change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way you act. Thinking, feeling, doing. And I'm trying to challenge you. So why don't you get rid of the resolutions for the year? And why don't you look at, where do I want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? And then after we get clear on that, we then say, what must I do today to be able to get where I want to be long term? See, our daily actions determine our direction. If I'm not willing to do today what I need to do to become who I want to be, I'm just going to stay languishing. We opened up today's show talking about flourishing. The opposite of flourishing is failing. Languishing's in between there. Something to think about. Benjamin Franklin, one of the wisest men on the planet, once said, one today is worth 2 tomorrows. Let that sink in. In other words, what he's saying is, one intentional day, one strategic day, one winning day is worth 2 tomorrows. He might also be saying that doing something small and intentional today is worth doing something big tomorrow, because we always put off to tomorrow. Well, I'll be ready tomorrow. The customer will be, we got to do this tomorrow. Or the customer will be more willing to receive it tomorrow. Or whatever. We have a million reasons why we don't do what we need to do today. He goes on to say, what I am to be, I am now becoming. And that's got some depth. I mean, I don't know what you think about Ben Franklin. Maybe it just takes you back to history class, which you hated. You may not know much about it. You may not have agreed with his political philosophy. I don't care. But there's some real depth in what this dude just said. What I am to be, I am now becoming. So what I am to be, what I want to be in the future, I am now becoming that. So if I want to lose 500 pounds, 300 pounds, 200 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever, that's not going to happen overnight. But it's not even about the losing 100 pounds. It's, where do I want to be physically in the next 5 years, 10 years? What do I want my life to feel like physically? What does my physical health have to do that? Hey, young guys, I'll just speak to dudes. From my perspective, hey, I want to be in a loving, thriving marriage with a woman that I share visions and dreams and goals and children and all these. Okay, if that's the long-term goal, what must you be doing today? Well, for one thing, how about writing out the attributes of a woman that you desire to love, desire to be loved by? How about actually knowing what that looks like and looking forward? How about getting off a Tinder or whatever the latest app is? Just go meet some real women, man. Right? That's the idea. In any area of your life, professionally, hey, I want to own my own business one day, but Ken, it's so big, I don't have any money. Then get out of debt. Do a budget today. In order to own my own business 5, 7, 10 years from now, I got to get out of debt. I got to have the money to be able to fund the business. So what I do today is I start walking the Ramsey baby steps out, right? What must I do today? Today matters. We need to be focusing more on today than the whole year. A whole bunch of winning days leads to winning years and a winning life.